Hello YouTube, this is Morgan Airspeed Prime here with my next Avatar news update video. A few things here that have kind of popped up. An interesting thing happened a day or two ago. A few people messaged me about this, kind of asking for my thoughts on do I think this will have any impact on the Avatar comic. So what this news is that the Embracer Group has entered into an agreement to acquire Dark Horse Comics, and it forms their 10th operative group. Effectively, it just means Dark Horse Comics has been bought by the Embracer Group. Now, you can go through all this information here. Here's like the press release about it. I have a Polygon article here about it. You can see here that the Dark Horse founder and CEO Mike Richardson gives like a statement here, and he feels excited about it. A new chapter in their history. The synergies that exist with the Embracer network of companies promises exciting new opportunities not only for Dark Horse but also for the creators and companies we work with. I've had a number of compelling conversations with Embracer CEO Lars Wingefors, and I'm very impressed with him and what he and his team have built. I have to say the future of our company has never looked brighter. And that's probably the main takeaway from this, is just that Dark Horse's future is not in doubt because of this. That they mention here that, I suppose part of why they bought it is that, Dark Horse publications include company-owned titles such as this, but then also licensed titles such as Star Wars, Avatar, and others. So this very much feels like a very high-level thing of a big company has bought this company because they do good stuff and are going to support them with their own network. It's hard to really say how much impact like this overall group can have on Dark Horse, which has the license to do specific things for Avatar and Korra, because of course Dark Horse basically has to work with Nickelodeon to make any new stuff. So how exactly does this work? If it was their own stuff, you'd be maybe saying like, okay, this agreement probably opens the doors to getting like video games and all that other sort of stuff done. He does say it promises exciting new opportunities for the companies we work with. I'm not sure how much of an impact this necessarily would have like for Viacom Avatar Studios, because if we go into the Polygon thing, they do explain that the Embracer Group is the company that includes publishing and development studios like Gearbox, THQ Nordic, Saber Interactive, and so on. So they're mainly known as like being sort of a video game, I suppose, development kind of like group. And then they've also kind of purchased this and a few other things. They've been buying a lot of stuff recently. Immediately, I would say that this probably has very little impact on Avatar Comics, other than any sense that like they might switch the license to a different comic publisher. Probably is not likely to happen anytime soon now, because this is not in doubt at all. Now you might bring up the idea that like I know the comic industry has been struggling a little bit, mainly the smaller companies like say IDW. I know that's been losing some of its licenses, but Dark Horse, this probably solidifies it as like the third or fourth main comic publisher, and they have strong licenses. Like I think they just got back the Star Wars license, and Avatar is obviously a huge thing for them. So that's probably an aspect of why they went for this. But we until Dark Horse and Nickelodeon figure out what their plan is for the comics, like I don't think this necessarily means all that much to us. Next, we have our first look at the cover for the Free Comic Book Day 2022 Avatar and Korra comic. Now, it's not the final art, as it says here, but it's a good taste of where the final art is headed. So, of course, Avatar is the cover, and we see Aang sort of landing here. He's got the staff. Looks pretty good. I looked into this a bit, and I found that the artist here is Kelly and Nicole Matthews, who are the twin artists for Boom Studios and RH Kids Graphic. So They're the artists that are doing the cover. It is the first look. We'll get the full, I suppose, in color image later. But I like that they haven't just left this as a placeholder blank image for months and months like they did last year. I like that we at least have a sense for what it is. Sure, overall it's not the most interesting image just because it's Aang. It's the main character of the entire franchise. Like, it doesn't really tell you a lot about what the comic is about, other than, I guess, Aang's gonna be in it. We'll see what he does. Maybe it'll be more of a sort of kind of the Air Acolytes focused style thing. Maybe it's Aang going to one of the air temples again or something like that. You know, there's room for a good, I think, maybe solo Aang story. Maybe Katara's with him or something like that. I think something like this could work, but again, I would like a description. I'd like to be able to speculate about what the comic is about, but right now we don't really know much, really, in the grand scheme of things. So there's that. This is just to point out that, again, the listings for these comics aren't yet up on Previews World, so we don't have even the vague description of the books. So we'll find out more about them as the weeks and months go on. Final piece of news is Avatar News, who seems to have a bit of an inside kind of track on some of the live action show production, is basically teasing the idea that May and Ty Lee are going to be cast and in season 1 of the Netflix live action show. He doesn't know any more information beyond that, but it's interesting just because these two characters are not in book 1, which is what season 1 is meant to be. So the speculation obviously is that because they've obviously announced as like two of the big actors are, you know, Ozai and Azula, they've announced them already, even though those characters are basically cameo roles in book 1 if they do it accurately. That probably speaks to the idea they're going to flesh out those roles a little bit more. So it would make sense that if Azula is going to become more of a minor character rather than just having like 2 cameo appearances, it would make sense to have May and Ty Lee make at least cameo appearances in season 1 ahead of season 2. Maybe we'll see her form the team right at the end of season 1, so we can go into season 2 with the group together, Ozai's Angels together. It probably just means that, like, yeah, we're gonna get a few more scenes with Ozai and Azula probably, and then Azula's arc, if she has one, will probably lead her to kind of incorporating May and Ty Lee into the story a little earlier. Other than that, like, it's hard to speculate because we don't know much specific information. Other than that, they are making changes. The most obvious one was the last piece of news, where like they seem to be replacing Oyaji as the leader of the village there with Suki's mother. So, you know, they're going to make changes. This is probably a good idea to get sort of fan favorite characters in here sooner rather than later, just because everyone knows Azula's a main character, so why not, you know, bump everything up a little bit to make it a little bit different. But I think that's all the news that I want to talk about here. So what are your thoughts? Do you know anything more about the Embracer Group? Do you think this will have any role on Dark Horse and their Avatar and Korra books? What are your thoughts so far on the first look at the cover for the Free Comic Book Day book? And any thoughts on May and Ty Lee going to be in season 1 of the live action show? But other than that, that's been the video. Thanks for watching, and bye.